Hi, Howard. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Absolutely.
Are live.
Welcome to the Board of Education curriculum meeting. Today is January 14th, 2025. It's the first time I've said that. Um, Calling the meeting to order at 5:32 p.m. With me today are some board members that Howard White, Colin Hostin, and myself, Mary Ellen Flaherty Ledwick. Also, and Jasmine's coming in. Good. Rob Pennington, Assistant Superintendent, is going to be conducting the meeting and introducing all these wonderful people that I see. So over to you.
All right. Good evening. Thank you, Mary Ellen and other board members. So tonight we are going to be talking about our high school program of study. Over the last few months, we have conducted multiple meetings where we've been able to bring together teachers, administrators to talk about new proposals for courses that they would like to offer our students, either through their pathway or just courses that would be of interest to students or tied to their theme. And so we have a wide array of people this evening. I'm going to share my screen, and then I'm just going to ask them to briefly introduce themselves. And then throughout the presentation, different people will jump in and share different components, or if there's questions, they will be here to help share those, to answer those questions. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm Rob Pennington, Assistant Superintendent of Schools.
I'm Kyle Heaslip, Assistant Principal at Norwalk High School.
Hello, everyone. Shirley at your Assistant Principal at Brian McMahon High School.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Beth Benari, Principal of P-Tech Norwalk High School.
Hi, everyone. I'm Debbie Costello, School Counselor at P-Tech Norwalk.
Hi, I'm Jen Sparrow, Assistant Principal at the Center for Global Studies.
I'm Misty Hofer, Assistant Education Administrator for STEM.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Tom, IB Coordinator at Brian McMahon.
Good evening, I'm Laura Bassler, and I'm also an IB Coordinator at Brian McMahon High School.
Good evening, Allison Breedy Johnson, Executive Director of Leadership Development.
All right, so tonight we're going to talk about the process for course selections, the graduation requirements, new course proposals, IB Bear Treks to College, which is a new initiative at Norwalk High School. And I know Kyle's really excited to talk about that this evening. CGS updates and P-Tech updates. And I know P-Tech, they have a lot of new courses that are exciting for students. And I know one in particular, Principal Finari is really excited to share about this evening. So to get us started, what will happen next? I talked a little bit about what has happened in November and December that has led us up to this point. What will happen next is that this information will go to the board if this committee moves it to the board, and then in February we start to have distribution of the program of studies, and counselors will start to meet with students for course selection. That will happen over February and March. We'll see course requests in April and May, and then placements and prerequisites for different courses will happen. And once we have those courses selected, then the work that starts in May, June, July, and August is making sure that our students are in classes and ready to start the year in August. So the first piece that I would like to talk about is our graduation requirements. And it's an ever-changing process. I think that that's an important piece to share. I think 5 years ago, there were 20 graduation requirements to graduate. It was moved to 25. We've added in a digital literacy requirement a few years ago. We also added in the capstone, which is a mastery-based graduation requirement that was added and now removed. And moving forward with the class of 2027, we have the financial literacy requirement as well. So like there are these ins and outs that were guided by the State Department of Education, and it ebbs and flows. And so we are constantly working to build out our graduation requirements, but also really thinking about how are we offering courses that students want to take. Students walk with their feet, and they talk with their feet. And so really trying to offer unique courses and pathways that will intrigue students, get them excited for learning, and continue to build their capacity to graduate, but then beyond, because we need to look beyond graduation. So the first component that I just wanted to talk about is the capstone requirement. This was a requirement that was put in place starting with the graduating class of 2023. And after 2 years, the state has now said that this is not a requirement for graduation. And so as we look at this, we have come to the conclusion that it is something that can be beneficial for students. So we want to leave it in our program of studies, but we do not want it to be a requirement for graduation. It has just become something else that our assistant principals, our teachers are working with our students. And so we want to keep it in the program of study, but not have it as a requirement for graduation, especially adding in the financial literacy component that we are, all students need to take. It's another course. So that is our first proposal. I just wanted to bring that here. That has been conversations with all 4 high schools. Any questions on the capstone before we move on?
How many credits are received when a student completes the capstone?
The capstone is 1 credit.
Thank you.
And so as we look at our graduation requirements, we have this 4 pathway credits where students can take courses of interest to them or down a specific pathway. So we left in a section here that says may include the capstone experience, whereas last year's graduating class and this year's graduating class, capstone is a required course on this projection. So our recommendation moving forward with the graduating class of 2026 would be to not have it be a requirement, but have it as an option, because it is beneficial. Some students they are doing certain things that really can highlight that work.
Hey Rob, quick
Yes,
question.
Colin.
I like the idea of keeping it as an option. Do we have a guesstimate as to how many students might want to take advantage of that option? Like, do you think it would be an underutilized course?
I don't know if it would be an underutilized course. When I talk with the schools, I think that they are excited at the possibility for a student who may need a couple credits and can really build out and connect their learning to an experience that they've done versus having to come in the summer. I don't know, like an example that someone shared with me was Norwalk High School in particular has a very strong theater program, and they have students that they're involved in the play, and part of their capstone can be reflecting on the experience, what they learned through that experience. And because it's being in the play isn't worth the credit, but the fact that if they're reflecting on their learning and they're journaling and writing about it, that is something that a student could connect as their capstone. And so instead of them, the way that the conversation was discussed was, if we have a student who's looking that may need a credit to graduate, this could be a really viable option for them Does Kyle or Shirley, would you like to add anything to that?
Sure. I mean, at Norwalk High School, it's not an actual class that we have. It's an independent-based project. And we do have some classes that are offered, like our Culture and Careers internship for some of our MLL students. And DMCA, we have a digital portfolio class that the students can complete their capstone in. But for the most part, many of our students work on this independently at the moment now. And we have 4 capstone advisors, one for each of the different houses at our school, just to keep those particular students on track if they are falling behind the deadlines.
Same thing happening at McMahon. There are students that are deeply invested and take a lot of time and spend a lot of thought on their capstone project, and I think keeping it an option for them would be great. Time will tell what the numbers will be at the close of the year.
Thank you so much.
So one of the focus areas across our high schools has been, how can we offer more rigorous classrooms, more rigorous classes for our students, and offer them opportunities to earn college credit. And so at Brian McMahon, we have some IB classes that can earn college credit at P-Tech and CGS. Brian McMahon and CGS have IB classes. At P-Tech, we have the early college opportunity. And so Norwalk High has really engaged in this robust process, and it's just the start. But I'm going to turn it over to Kyle to talk a little bit about their initiative called Bear Tracks to College.
So at Norwalk High, we want to offer students the opportunity to take a college course outside of an AP setting or even in conjunction with an AP class that we have. So this infographic here showcases our Bear Tracks to College credits. These courses provide the opportunity for students to earn college credits through early college experiences. This is really open to our juniors and seniors, and they can enroll in a variety of subjects. So we have a couple courses that are at Quinnipiac through DMCA. We have courses from Southern Connecticut State University, and we have courses through UConn. And some of the courses have already been offered at our school in our program of studies now, like our Spanish and Italian courses. Some of the students that are in our AP Italian class will also receive credit through the UConn, and same thing with Spanish. We have 2 UConn ECE classes, which is intermediate Spanish and Spanish conversation. One is really for our native language Spanish speakers, and the other one are for our non-natives. And those have been really successful at our school. We also had a partnership with Southern Connecticut through 2 of our courses, psychology, introduction to psychology and social psychology. So we were able to branch out to a couple different departments. And we really pinpoint certain teachers that we feel would grow our program. And also the challenging part of this is also being able to teach these courses because they are college professors. So next year we plan to offer college level courses outside of our core 4. We plan to broaden it to college level access in the business department along with the theater department. And we also have a couple new courses that are coming in for math and social studies. So some of these courses that are on here now are courses that were already in the program of studies, and now we're stepping it up to the next level so that in a couple of years when we move into our new building, we're really hoping to have a whole area that is just all college level courses on the floor.
Kyle, could I ask a question?
Of course.
I'm just trying to imagine how this works in terms of the teaching staff. Is this adjuncts that come over and teach at the high school, or do the high school kids have to travel? How
Nope.
does it...
So these are all staff members that are currently at our school right now. Most of the courses that we offer currently right now have one section that is run, and it's taught by a Norwalk High School teacher. So for
Oh.
example, one of our teachers, Miss Totoshini at our school, teaches the UConn ECE course for Spanish. And it's typically just one section of that. So within the teaching schedule, she will have one section of that UConn course. Some are more popular than others, like the psychology course. There is one teacher that teaches that, and she has 3 sections of it. And students earn 3 college level credits first semester for introduction to psychology. And then second semester, they earn 3 college credits for social psychology. So there's not really an impact in terms of scheduling. Some of the courses that we already have at the school, for example, AP statistics, we already have it at the school. And one of the courses that we would be offering is called Statistics 1100Q.
Yeah.
And that can be running concurrently at the same time as AP statistics or even in replacement of AP statistics. Students can always be enrolled in both and still earn the college credit.
Kyle, can you share what is the benefit of taking a dual enrollment class versus taking an AP class?
So, I mean, when it comes to an AP class, there's a test at the end. Every single student, or in order to earn credit, needs to score at least a 3 or higher in order to earn college level credit. And some schools don't, accept the college level course if they earn a 3. Some schools maybe only accept a 4 or 5. Taking a dual enrollment course and offering college level credit already gives students the opportunity to transfer these credits into a school. What we've seen so far is for UConn and Southern, 89% of our students have transferable credits into other programs in the same area.
Kyle, what is the oversight from UConn, for example, that the course is up to their rigor?
So every single staff member that they have to apply. And each staff member applies through UConn or Southern. There's an application process, and most of the time, the teachers need to have a master's in their certain content. So a master's in Spanish education, a master's in business education, a master in theater education. So they each reach out to the particular institution, and they will either be approved or denied. If they're denied, they send back exactly what courses will need to be taken in order for them to teach that course. So right now, out of all the courses that are on here, we're still waiting approval for 3 of our teachers to teach those courses through Southern. But every course that you see under UConn and DMCA have already been approved.
And just to press a little bit more in the particulars, the actual curriculum plan for that course, let's say in psychology 227, is, are they using the same book?
At Southern. Yes.
They're using the same book. They for a while I taught at the University of West Florida as an adjunct in the math department, and what they did was I was given the book to teach from, and the curriculum. I'm wondering if it's that same pattern.
So as part of the application process, each person that applies needs to submit a syllabi, and the syllabi, they provide a sample syllabi when we're in communications with them. So it has to mirror the textbook or curriculum that they have. And it also has to mirror their grading process as well.
Thank you for explaining further.
And I just want to give a shout out to Dr. Moore and her team, because this is really, they're setting a vision for the future of Norwalk High. I mean, we look a lot at our state accountability, and offering dual enrollment classes and other courses is really a goal. And so they're really taking this to the next level with this Bear Tracks to College. And so now we'll jump into some different courses. Kyle, do you want to talk about the Intro to Management class?
So in terms of Intro to Management, we already have a course at our school, Principles of Business, and then we also have a course, Business Law. When it comes to Introduction to Management, this is a course that we have put forward because we saw a lot of our juniors and our seniors really missing out on that college level credit within the business department. All the other departments in our school have like that end track, and Rob will be showing a slide later today for our theater program, for example. And this Intro to Management course is for our juniors and seniors that have taken principles of business at our school, and giving them the opportunity now to take that college level course within the business department. We do have a lot of students that are interested in this course. Next year, our goal is to run one section of this course to see how that goes. So that would encompass 24 students.
All right. Thank you. And then from Brian McMahon, they have a new course request called Restaurant Management and Culinary Foundations. And Ms. Tom is going to talk about that course.
Hi, I apologize in advance for my voice. This is the consequence I get for running outside on Sunday. But the new course proposal, Restaurant Management and Culinary Foundations, was brought about by a business teacher who works and owns at a restaurant, trying to increase the pathway enrollments and create a new pathway at Brian McMahon to align with the IB career-related path. This would be through ProStart, which is founded through the National Restaurant Association. It's over the course of 2 years, 11th grade and 12th grade, and the students would leave with a certification to enter the workforce. I'm currently working with local restaurants to help with partnerships and create a solid foundation in Norwalk, since a lot of our students do work in many of these restaurants that I'm working with. They would work with the business teacher who brought this up, as well as the culinary teacher. The curriculum is intertwined between the both, so we're trying to figure out how that layout would look. But it's really exciting because I think if we're able to get this off the ground, we would be able to reach a lot more of our students to enroll in the IB career path, since right now it's very science heavy. And I think that's it. Do you have any questions?
Right.
We have more about the IB stuff later on, so.
Any questions about the business proposals?
They sound very exciting and very practical. Really getting the high schools person's minds set on what's coming next.
All right, we'll move on. So, Kyle.
All right, this course here will be run through the social studies department, and all the courses that you'll see on here with the college level course title are all courses that are 3 credits or 4 college credits. Within our social studies department, Mr. Zeidel has worked with our AP US government students. A lot of those students are in 11th grade, and then typically when they get into 12th grade, they may not take another social studies course after that because they've already met the requirements through social studies. This course itself, the Media, Freedom, and Power, really focuses on the First Amendment rights. We do have journalism through the DMCA at our school, and many of our students express interest in taking a college level course outside of communications. The good thing about this course is that when we looked at the research behind it, it would count towards a humanities credit. A lot of students going into 4-year schools will need to take general education requirements in the beginning as they enter college before they go into their path and their major. So this course itself would count as a humanities credit through English at the college level courses. Many of our students at our school go through the DMCA and broadcast journalism. So this is just another course that we're adding into that pathway for them outside of the communications realm.
All right. So the next class I'm really excited. I'm going to talk a little bit about tonight, and that is peer assisted music. So we currently at our comprehensive high schools, we offer peer assisted art and we offer peer assisted PE. These are integrated classrooms that have students with IEPs and students without IEPs. And so we've seen a lot of positive success from these classrooms, and this year Norwalk High wants to build on that success and offer a peer assisted music class. Part of my ask is that Brian McMahon be able to connect with them throughout the year next year so that we can then offer this course at Brian McMahon next year. So it's really a pilot that came from the Norwalk High team. I'm really excited about it because we have seen a lot of positive feedback from our peer assisted art and our peer assisted PE. And now we're going to transition into our theater proposal, and I'm not going to leave it on this slide. I need to move it to the next slide because it really just will give you a visual of what it will look like for a student following one of these trajectories, one of these theater pathways.
Rob is very obsessed with this slide. So this opportunity is also for P-Tech students as well, because we have students from Norwalk High and P-Tech that participate in a variety of shows throughout the school year, like our spring musical, our fall play. There's an awesome music program and performing arts program between Norwalk High and P-Tech students. So Foundations of Acting is a Southern Connecticut State University course. It's a culminating course at the end of our theater pathway. So a lot of times our students that are incoming here in 9th grade will take Theater Studies 1, which is a semester-length class. If they are participating in the middle schools, they go into Acting 1 their freshman year. And then their 10th grade year, they go into Honors Acting. And then following that, they really don't have an AP course following their Honors Acting 2. We have like Honors Theater Musical Performance as another opportunity for students to take. But this was an opportunity outside of the core 4, social studies, math, science, and English to really take a college level course. And the culminating course at the end of this would be Foundations of Acting. So the seniors or juniors that take this course would earn 3 college credits. And this would also be taught by Mr. McAfee, who is our current theater teacher at our school. And he was approved to teach this course by Southern.
Kyle, am I reading this correctly? That the student going through would get a high school credit, 1 credit, and get 3 college credits for the same course?
Yes. So any of the courses that are part of our Bear Tracks are 1 Norwalk High School credits. So this would go under the Fine Arts credit. So they would get 1 Norwalk High School credit, and then they would be technically a Southern Connecticut State University student and earn 3 credits upon successful completion of the course. So for the courses from UConn, students would have to register as a UConn student. And for example, like the statistics course, that would count as 1 math credit at our school year or at Norwalk High School, and it would count for 4 college level credits at University of Connecticut.
I see. And so this is unlike what goes on with P-Tech and the community college. The courses they take at the community college are just from the community college. They don't get high school credit for that.
Ms. Renard, I don't know if you wanted to say anything, or Ms. Costello.
Yes,
for P-Tech.
They can count as dual credit options.
I see. Okay.
So it would be similar to that.
I see. Okay.
Any questions before we move on? All right. So now we're going to transition to new courses for STEM. And I will transition to Misty Hofer.
We have 3 new course proposals for STEM coming from Norwalk High School, and Kyle already talked a little bit about the Bear Tracks, and he mentioned Statistics 1100Q. So I'll actually start there. That's that ECE course. They wanted to provide a more rigorous option for students who might be able to earn their college credit at the exact same time. And it really also incorporates statistical software for data analysis, which will cover a bunch of different topics that we really feel are very important for college readiness skills and skills for today. And we also have 2 semester courses, Financial Math and Full Steam Ahead, Math for Careers. These are both coming from Norwalk High as well, the Financial Math credit. The Financial Math course will be more specifically about how mathematics works in personal finances. It's a really exciting course. They're using the financial algebra curriculum from the Next Gen Personal Finance online. And then we also have Full Steam Ahead, Math for Careers. Norwalk High is really interested in helping support students who are going to be maybe transitioning straight into a career and who are looking to really develop their math skills specifically for that. It's a course that they put together with a lot of thought, and they've put together not just an outline of the course, but a sample unit and some sample lesson plans as well.
And I'm going to add the financial math course will count towards the financial literacy requirement that students will need to graduate. So that was part of the thinking behind that request. All right, now we're going to transition to Brian McMahon.
So Brian McMahon also has 3 STEM courses that they're proposing. The first one is drones use in marine conservation. This is to replace a current existing course about drones. It's really going to go into the marine science pathway, and it will be all about how drones are being used today in careers and as well as military. And then students will get real hands-on application to use the drones, pilot them, data map. It's going to be open first to students in the marine science pathway, but also open to other students as well. And then the another STEM course is strength training in athletics, which is a semester-long course. It's going to focus on weightlifting. Students are going to learn proper techniques, weight room safety and etiquette, and it's really going to be kind of all about personal goals and how to accomplish and put together a fitness plan to meet those goals. The last course they're proposing is the Science of Nutrition and Dietetics. It's a semester-long course that fits within their medical pathway, and it builds off their current course, which is Introduction to Healthcare. And it should engage students as they look at food science and sustainable nutrition and how our bodies work and what types of food we need in order to be the healthiest possible.
All right. Any questions from our new course proposals for STEM?
Okay.
All right. So we're going to transition, and I'm actually going to turn off of this slide because it doesn't do it justice. But we talked a lot about Norwalk High and their vision for Bear Tracks to College, and Brian McMahon has been really doing a lot of work with IB, and so they have 3 new IB requests for the program of study, but it's part of a much larger conversation and discussion that the school and Principal Wood and her team have been going through. And so I'm going to turn it over to the team, and I think the best place to start will really be looking at IB at Brian McMahon. And so I will turn it over to Ms. Bassler and Ms. Tom.
So I'll get us started. And like you said, we have been doing a lot of work with the IB programs. Last year, we were fully authorized as a middle years program, and that will be in our grades 9 and 10. The career-related program and diploma programs both went through their 5-year evaluation last year and had great success through that evaluation process. But part of that is also developing a plan for how to grow the IB programs at our school. And so really you see kind of the side-by-side programs as the continuum of IB at Brian McMahon. As some of you know, there's also some of our middle schools that are going through the middle years authorization program, and that will actually start the middle years program in grades 6, 7, and 8, allowing students to continue through that middle years program in grades 9 and 10, and then finish up their high school program of studies in grades 11 and 12 with either the career-related program, diploma program, or they can take the diploma program, the diploma classes, you know, as a singleton class that they are interested in without being necessarily fully enrolled in one of those 2 programs. As you can see, there's kind of a side-by-side kind of comparison of what the requirements of the career-related and diploma programs are. And there are 6 groups of classes that are required for the diploma, as well as the theory of knowledge class. The capstone type projects, I know that we're getting rid of the capstone requirement for the state, but I do see that there is a benefit with those types of experiences, and both the extended essay and creativity and activity service portfolio offer students the opportunity to engage with some of their passion projects and topics of interest where they can, do more research and engage with the community. Steph, I don't know if you want to say anything more about the career-related program before.
Sure. So for the career-related program students, they have to take a minimum of the 2 diploma courses. We put them in a minimum of 3, and a lot of our high flyers will take 4. They will also enroll in a pathway course. We currently have ROTC, biomedical science, computer science, engineering, and marine sciences. But as I mentioned earlier, we're trying to add the culinary management pathway to broaden the options for our students. Our capstone-like project are a community engagement portfolio where they engage in a community service learning project or a reflective project where they focus on an ethical dilemma that they're interested in. And they also have a new title for this. It used to be called language development, but it's language and cultural studies, where students immerse themselves in a secondary language that they're learning: Spanish, Italian, French, or they could do it on their own if they're not currently taking a language at Brian McMahon. And just to add on to NYP, they also have to complete a personal project at the end of their 10th grade year, which if they want, they can use that to build and do their capstone, even if they're not involved in the career-related program or the diploma program.
So that leads us into their vision, their next steps, which is what I will call IB for all. And I will turn it back over to them.
So as a part of our process and our goals is to expand the footprint of IB in the school. And so we have been working with all of the administrators, and we've actually been able to partake in a project with the International Baccalaureate themselves that has given us additional networking and training for our teachers for free. So this is something that IB is really passionate about, as far as making sure that we are broadening our access to IB classes for all students in the building, and providing, rigorous high-level classes that could lead to college credit as well. So already this year, we've had 8 staff members or faculty members trained in the IB language and literature class. And so one of the classes that we're at, we already offer the language and literature course at HL. HL is considered the high-level course, and that is what we've been offering as part of our career-related and diploma programs. We're adding the SL level course, which is considered the standard level International Baccalaureate level of the course. And that course will replace the grade 11 English class next year. So all of our grade 11 students will essentially be taking an IB SL level course as their kind of standard continuation of the middle years program. So they're already taking language and literature 9th and 10th grade through IB through middle years. So this will allow them to continue that same philosophy and approaches to teaching and learning in the 11th and 12th grade year. So next year will be in grade 11, and then the following year we would add to grade 12 the year 2 of that IB language and literature course at the standard level.
Can I just interject?
Sure.
So part of the plan too is to continue what we're currently doing with our English 3 classes with co-taught supports, as well as MLL support. So we're not just throwing the kids into the trenches, so to speak, without the proper supports. And that's also part of the year 2 plan later on, to continue with those supports if needed.
Correct. So although it's replacing, yes, there will be continued supports and strategies for students to go through those courses. And then I don't know Did you switch the slide on me, possibly?
Back up.
Who's in charge of the slides today?
I went back to the
Or
courses.
you wanted to go
because
back to this? Got it, the courses.
I
Yep.
went back to the courses because I
Perfect.
just wanted to reiterate what you said. So next year,
Perfect.
all 11th grade students at Brian McMahon High School will be taking IB Lang and Lit, which is a 2-year course. So they'll take it in 11th and 12th grade. And so that is new. We've offered the IB Lang and Lit HL, and now we're adding in the second course, IB Lang and Lit SL. So I think that is that is adding to the course offerings for IB. And then they also are requesting to bring in a computer science course that will also give more students the opportunity, because just another type of class. So they're continually expanding the IB work that they are doing. Anything else that you would like to add?
Yeah, no, I think the computer science class is a course that many students have kind of been interested in wanting us to offer whenever we've been talking about IB. And so this is an opportunity for us to add an SL and HL level course. Additionally, IB has added in their new iteration of the curriculum for environmental systems and societies an HL level for that course. Again, we already offer it at the SL level. The addition would be the HL level. And the addition or the HL extension would include discussions of environmental law, ecological economics, and ethics. So it's really the same SL topics with an extension of HL kind of investigations and research. So yeah, that is the IB courses that we're adding to our program of studies.
Rob, I know you're a little pressed for time, but if you can go to the next, yeah. The IB had a review by the American College on Education over the last year, and at our global conference, we got some really good news because a lot of universities are very particular with the IB credits that they take. So the ACE review board said that they should be offering and suggested, it's not a rule, that universities and colleges take, there's a list, but SL courses and grant at least three college credits for scoring at least a 4 or above on their exams, which is big news because a lot of colleges and universities only take HL scores.
Oh.
That was really great. It's not guaranteed. The student may have to advocate for themselves, or Laura and I may have to advocate with their counselor. And we're also working, I know Kyle touched upon ECE. We're working with UConn to see which IB classes align with their ECE curriculum in hopes to also dual enroll in IB and ECE in the future.
And yeah, I think we have a few courses that are already dual enrollment as well. So we're trying to expand that.
So I just would like to comment that it's just a wonderful weaving together of the portrait of a graduate that the entire system is going for. And here you have it in very specifics with the IB curriculum. That's great.
All right, we're going to move on. CGS, Ms. Spiro.
There we go. We are excited to offer a new pathway starting next year in film, which will take our digital artifacts and production class and offer an advanced digital artifacts and publications, I guess. I should know the titles. And that will culminate in the 2 years of IB film in junior, senior year. All 4 courses are focused on the various contexts of film, both analysis and production. They learn how to participate via creating CGS News, which is our monthly news video and updates. With digital artifacts, the advanced course, they will be focusing on our, we have a CGS specific yearbook annex. And so that will be a visual publication that they'll focus on. And they will leave CGS with a really practical engagement in the study of film and the production of film.
Right.
So that, as I mentioned, we are offering, we want to propose a new course that takes what they've learned in the first course and moves into some advanced techniques. And then we're also proposing a new English elective, creative writing from a global perspective, which will encourage students to look at the storytelling techniques, traditions, and themes, and explore some of their own writing in those veins.
And so those are the new courses proposed from CGS, and you can see some are tied to IB. They are in the process of getting their authorization, which will be coming in, I believe, the fall.
For MYP, we
For
are
MYP,
authorized for the
correct.
diploma program.
For
Yeah.
MYP.
Mm-hmm.
And they are also creating courses that really tie to their theme at CGS, which is that piece around creative writing tied to global perspectives. So those are their two courses. Any questions for CGS? All right, we're going to move on to P-TECH, and Principal Funari has new courses that she is proposing for P-TECH. Go ahead, Beth.
Hi, thanks, Rob. Thank you, everyone. So I just wanted to sort of first introduce that Rob said that I was really excited about one of the classes. I have to say, true, but I'm also excited about all of them. In my time here, one of our major objectives was to really get back to the themes of P-TECH and what P-TECH was really meant to be. And our themes are around technology and workforce development. And we've done a lot of work in terms of identifying courses that align to the themes so that our kids are graduating from us with very discrete skills in these thematic areas that will allow them to be competitive in both college and career. And so this year, with the support of the grant, the financial support, we were able to propose lots of new classes because it allowed us the opportunity to have the resources necessary to teach the classes. And as a result of that, we had to build partnerships with outside companies that also advised us in some of these courses that are being proposed tonight. And I also wanted to add that all of our courses, our teachers are getting heavily trained in project-based learning. Right now, we're under professional development with high leverage teaching strategies that we're going to fold into project-based learning. One of the requirements is that all of our courses end with a project. We're going to be calling them keystones across all of our content areas to lead to the capstone. So as our kids are navigating through their pathways in grades 9 through 11, their keystones can technically feed their capstone that will be the evidence of their culminating experience at P-TECH. So we do plan to keep capstone at P-TECH. So as a result of that, I'd like to get into some of the courses that we are proposing. Ms. Costello, did you want to take this slide?
Sure. So we aren't offering any new pathways at P-TECH. We're just offering, proposing new courses to support the pathways that we currently have. And so for network systems, we're proposing Honors Robotics 2, Honors Computer Construction Repair 2, and Optics. We currently have Introduction to Robotics and Computer Construction Repair, and the students want more of that. So after they've taken that first semester or 0.5 class, they can continue on into an honors level. Ms. Funari will go in a little bit about what the Optics class is. For programming and software development, we already have a course on our program of studies that's called the Realities of Artificial Intelligence, and we're just changing the description a little bit to fit better into the P-TECH pathway of programming and software development. For our digital web and digital communications pathway, we are proposing a new course, Textiles and Technology, where the students will be able to code their clothes and learn how to do that skill. So that's kind of very exciting. For skills build pathway, we're proposing a job shadowing and internship course and a teaching methods course. We'll go into a little bit more of what that all entails on the next few slides.
And I just want to say last year at Brian McMahon, they were looking to offer the aspiring teacher course for marine science, and now P-TECH is looking to do something very similar, and it's really exciting that we are promoting education as a career, and so I'm really excited about that new course.
Oh, I'm very excited about that also in both places. A really terrific idea.
All right.
So I'll take that one, our teaching methods for aspiring educators, and it's coupled with a component of our job shadowing. And it was actually born from a student here who had an open class, an open end, and she didn't have a ride home, and we needed to do something with her. And so one of the suggestions was for her to co-teach. She was a senior, she knew the skills that the teacher was teaching, so she started co-teaching in that class. I had conversations with Rob and Carol. I thought that this could be something awesome to offer an internship right here while the kids are at school. Rob and Carol made that happen. So as a result, one of our internships will be a teaching internship on campus that the kids will get paid for while they're still here.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And so in order to prepare them for that, I've partnered with Fairfield University. And I'm hoping to grow partnerships as a result of the grant, but just because it's just good practice for my school. And they're going to be giving to us a course. It's the teaching methods course. So the idea is before those children who go into their teaching internship, they take the methods course as anyone would who would be going into teaching. And what I'm working on with them is to make that course dual enrollment, to count it as a STEM elective for us, but also count it as credits for Fairfield University should one of our students want to enroll in their educator program there. And so one of the components of our grant is to grow our internship opportunities for our students. So one of them is the one that will exist on our campus. We've also have partnerships with Peralta Designs in Shelton. It's a graphic design company. ASML, and when I explain optics, I'll explain the partnership with ASML. Cognition Control is a company right here in Norwalk where they're offering our students a paid internship to program thermostats. And we have the IBM. And we have a college and career placement facilitator on our campus as a result of the grant, who will serve as the liaison between the students and these companies. And she's also been the one really pounding the pavement to grow these internship opportunities with our students. And then because I mentioned ASML and the internship with them, I'll explain the course that we're going to be offering, which is called Optics. Over the summer, I was in conversation with ASML so that my students could intern in their optics company. And I had about a half an hour conversation until I finally asked, what the heck is optics? And so she told me, basically, they have the market monopolized on glass and all the glass that gets cut for iPhones and all computers technology. And they don't outsource, but other countries outsource and utilize them. And in speaking with the company, there isn't a teaching methodology for this. they hire the individuals based upon behavior, and then they teach them when they get there. And so through conversations with her, she eventually said that they would be willing to create a curriculum so that we could teach our kids on our campus optics. So if they wanted to, they can become employed right after graduation. And the kicker is that one of my teachers happens to work at ASML in optics. So I have the perfect candidate to teach the class.
That is great.
Yeah. And so I'll touch on artificial intelligence because Ms. Costello mentioned it, and it really is a change because artificial intelligence, what it was in 23-24 is not what it is in 24-25. It's growing rapidly. And so we're trying to just remain relevant with where AI has taken us. And so what the children will be learning now is very, very different than what was originally presented in our original the realities of artificial intelligence. And so that we can respond appropriately to what's going on, our kids need to be current. And so the course is now a current one. Did you want to go on to the other ones? Okay, and Ms. Costello, she did mention honors robotics, the two. I would just like to add to that the grant has allowed us the opportunity to purchase all of the VEX robotics components. It's a large series of resources that grows in rigor from grades 9 through 12. We bought the gamut, and so that's why we're allowed the opportunity to offer a robotics 1 and a robotics 2 now, because we have those new resources available to us. And I'll move on to, this is the class that I'm really excited about. It's textiles and technology. And this was born from Zendaya, the girl who's the Disney girl, and her dress that she wore to the Grammys was coded as Ms. Costello indicated, and her dress changed colors throughout the evening. So we are trying to grow our program. I'm heavily male, and we're trying to grow our program to tap into interests of our females. And one of our teachers brought this to us, and we thought that this could be an amazing way to harvest some female interest. Rob promised to be in the fashion show at the end of the school year when we're putting on our fashion show for our textiles and tech.
I want them to design a suit for me. That's a coded suit. That is what I want.
You would wear it.
I would totally wear it.
And we have all of the machinery, and actually it's it's not expensive to run this course. You need a sewing machine and sensors. So the grant was able to fund all of that also. And the last two courses, we have statistics and data as an option for our students. And another component that we're trying to move to is some interdisciplinary planning. And we have a course that we introduced last year called Accelerate. And we're trying to embed more statistics into our Accelerate class. And we are seeing this as an opportunity where these two classes can really offer students an interdisciplinary project-based hands-on experience that's very, very relevant to them. And finally, the last class that we're proposing, this is going to be through our social studies department, came to us from one of our teachers, and it's really about the impact that technology has on people and behaviors and society and the workforce in order to incorporate that theme and sort of marry the themes of technology and workforce on human behavior. It ties completely to our goal as a school. So although we are heavily technology and workforce based, we are constantly trying to find opportunities to instill in our students humanity. And so concentrating on the behaviors that technology and workforce has on our students and our population and what it's doing. One of the books that is being suggested, perhaps not necessarily the book in its entirety, but in excerpts, is the book called Genesis. It's a new book, and it's it's written by someone who worked at Google, who is really concentrating on AI and how AI is impacting human dignity, because technically people don't need to be experts anymore. And so it's how to instill dignity in students and not allowing the technology to steal that from them. And it's also focusing on what, I didn't coin this, I heard it at a conference, and I think it's really very important. They used to be called, the 21st century skills used to be called the soft skills. We call them the hard skills now, because socializing children and teaching them about communication and collaboration is becoming more and more difficult as we combat the realities of technology and the importance that technology plays in their world. So this class, what I just described, I want to permeate in all of my classes, but this will really hone in on one of the agendas that we're trying to push at the school.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Fenari. And I want to wrap us up by just saying thank you so much to so many people. It takes a village to do this work. Kyle, Shirley, Deb, Jen. Without them, this doesn't all come together. The principals have been amazing. The high school instructional leads, IB coordinators, counselors, our curriculum and instruction team. So I just wanted to take a minute and wrap up and just share. You can see that there's a lot of thought that goes into our courses. What is really nice to see is the intentionality of pulling in more rigorous courses, more courses that attract students, and then also more courses that are tied to the theme of the school. So I just wanted to wrap up and say thank you so much. Is there any final thoughts or questions from the board that members of the team can answer?
I just have a comment of how impressed I am with the thoughtfulness, as you just mentioned, and the heads up over and over to trying to have students be really engaged in things that affect them and that could possibly affect their future. It sounds exciting, and my other of my board members want to say anything about that before? Rob, is now the time to make a motion to bring this before the board, or is there?
That would be a motion to bring the course proposals to the board.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, then let's vote on that, and then yes. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
And
Thank you, everyone.
let's make a motion to adjourn, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a
Thanks,
good night,
everybody.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank
Good
you.
night, thank you.
Tremendous.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.